it's debate time. This is our first debate.
Huw and Jason debate.
One of the few we'll do before Huw fucks off out the country.
Yeah, mate.
It's been a year-ish, been more than a year, but ish, since the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One came out.
Yes, mate.
So the point of this is we're going to take a side, despite the fact that we might not necessarily agree 100% with our side.
We're taking a point of view.
Yes, and arguing it for the sake of entertainment.
So, despite the fact we both probably prefer Wii U, today
that's the disclaimer. Yes.
Yeah, that's our disclaimer. I will be PS4 today.
And I'll be Xbox One. And we also both agree that console wars are stupid.
Yeah.
So,
but let's fan the flames anyway.
Yeah. Well,
this might get us some comments from idiots.
Maybe. Or nice people, as I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
We've actually drunk all this tea. This is purely decorative.
But it's a prop.
Yeah.
There's still some.
Well, next time we do it, we'll brew more tea.
Sugar bowl has got sugar in it. So.
Anyway.
Alright, opening statements. Who wants to go first? Would you like to go first?
I'll go for let's just broadly summarise my view of the Xbox.
Go for it.
Okay, my basis for my argument for the Xbox being superior to the PS4 within its first year, despite its rocky start and the fact that it did many things wrong upon its initial announcements. Its turnaround, I think, has been quite outstanding. Admitting all the wrongdoing that it had initially, getting rid of the need for Kinect, and taking back on its stance on indies, bringing back the indies. Also, I believe its exclusives in its first year have been superior, and I believe its online experience has been greater, and that also the PS4 has been played with more launch issues for games and unsteady frame rates and things like that, and the Xbox, despite its lower less 60 frames per second goal or bar or whatever, has had more steady performing games overall.
Alright. My argument essentially is that PS4 is better. No, that's not it at all. It seems to have a slight, if negligible, technical edge on the Xbox One. It seems to have a broader consumer base. You can tell I'm going into character here because that's not normally my argument or anything. And it also, the main thing, a thing I would say is that it is more of a games console and less of a multimedia machine. So, there we go. That's
fine. If we take the multimedia machine into account, as in, obviously that was the Xbox's goal originally, was to be the centre of the living room. It wanted to be all in one box.
Takes up more space. PS4 takes up less space. Minor argument, but a true argument.
Maybe by a couple of centimetres. But they certainly have backtracks. I mean, the backtracking is not always a positive. I think in this instance, Xbox has, it's gone back to being primarily a games machine, except one you can order pizza off. And let's face it, who doesn't want to order pizza when they're playing video games?
Evans does it all the time.
They have the features that it does have are still quite useful. If you do want to multi-window things and scope while you play, you can do that. But I'm not necessarily sure why you would, but
you can.
But you can, and that's a plus because it's not a negative. And you say that the PlayStation's more of a games machine, but in its first year we've seen less exclusive games.
Fewer. Sorry.
This isn't a grammar contest.
This is not a grammar contest. It's good because I wouldn't win one. Okay. We do have a few exclusive games, but we have some good upcoming exclusives. I can't name any of them now. Brilliant. Little Big Planet 3. There we go. That's the last one.
Little Big Planet is out already.
There we go. That's a good exclusive for the PS4. Okay, but I would say the reason I believe it is more of a games machine is because it doesn't have this multi-windowing thing. That's fairly unnecessary, and it seems like what we did in the previous generation, though they both seem to have looked at mistakes from the previous generation and tried to get rid of them, but what they did in the previous generation was look at things, so it seemed like the Wii in the previous generation was, for a lot of people, not really a console, it's just a general entertainment device you could have in your house, even though it still had a lot of really great games for actual gamers like us. It seemed like what they did was PS3 went, oh no, we fucked up, we've made actually a console, that was stupid of us, let's try and nick some of this stuff. And I think they've learned from that mistake with PS4, and I think Xbox has learned from that specific mistake, but has still tried to say all this multi-windowing stuff and all this app stuff. However, I guess I'm going to backtrack slightly, that's not a massive deal, but it still seems like PS4 has said, I'm going to focus on actually being a console, and Xbox has said, I wasn't really made to actually be a console, and I've gone back on myself. Yeah.
It's true that it's gone back on itself, but in going back on itself, it's brought itself into a closer technical parity with the PlayStation.
Yeah.
By disabling by disabling the fact that it needs Kinect to be on all the time.
Yeah.
It now is much closer in terms of performance to the PlayStation, even though it isn't exactly 1-1. But
No.
it's still. Developers seem to be able to make the Xbox perform more consistently. I mean, you brought up Little Big Planet as an exclusive, but Little Big Planet is another PlayStation game that had launch issues.
Yeah.
This has been less of an issue on Xbox. Other multi-platform games like Assassin's Creed Unity had far more launch issues than it did on the Xbox. I mean, Assassin's Creed shouldn't have shipped in that state anyway, but I would definitely say it's not the only thing. Like one of the other big exclusives, like Drive Club, didn't have all the features it promised. It was massively delayed. It's been generally a bit of a letdown, and a lot of people have said that its aim for graphical fidelity has probably kind of hampered its gameplay in the long run because it just doesn't run as expected.
True, this is true, but it seems like graphics matter to the people who buy these consoles, and it seems like, according to a website I read, that despite Xbox actually being a faster machine, apparently, having faster processing power, PS4 has apparently delivered better graphics when they've worked. And it seems like if we're talking about the first year of PS4 and Xbox, then we're talking about the people who adopt the technology early. And it seems like just based on I'm keeping saying seems like, I'm going to keep saying it, based on the sales, which is always a good argument, of the massive 13 million sales for PS4, whilst it's just under 10 million have been shipped to store for the Xbox One, that the early adopter is favouring the PlayStation 4. And this may not seem like much of an argument, but it seems like that might... Oh, shut up. Stop saying seems like... But that could imply that we have an actual technical advantage to the PS4, and it actually is a better console in just a purely technical sense, even if the games are not coming out perfectly. And I would say that is not a problem with the PS4 technically, but it is a problem with perhaps the development process for the PS4.
Perhaps, but there's other problems as well. Like the online has been a thing; it's been down for a while. And there's been more consistent. Like the online for the Xbox has been very they've been doing this for a while. They got it right with Xbox Live, initially on the Xbox 360, and they're both trapped behind the paywall. Basically, if you want to play online, you have to pay.
Paywall.
But Xbox One seems to be delivering a more consistent performance. And considering where the average consumer, if we're going to take early adopters and the people who are buying these consoles into mind, considering that the average consumer probably plays a lot of online games and that the social side of it and the online side of it is actually quite a big deal for new consoles, I would say that online performance has got to be a big factor when it comes into these next-gen consoles.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, then I guess I got my last argument. I don't really have much of an argument after this. Is basically though it seems again that I've come back to this argument many times, but there must be a reason why the consumers are going with Sony. I think it might be that we trust them more as an actual console maker than Microsoft.
I think there is some misplaced trust there. For me, because Sony basically got this early advantage by just not doing what Microsoft did.
Yeah.
And initially, it got a very big push, because it didn't have all of this Kinect always on nonsense.
Yeah.
But since then, Microsoft have made some big strides, and I think that good faith that people initially had in Sony is starting to fade away a little bit. And I think if you look over the long term, if you look over the last generation, the PlayStation 3 had an absolutely terrible start. Didn't sell at all. It was far too highly priced, but then by the end of the console generation, they were very 50-50 in terms of global sales. So I don't really think you can take just early adopters into mind when you talk about which console has performed better over the year.
No. But you can, so sure. Okay, I've run out of stuff to say. Yeah. So I'm going to say maybe Xbox One has won it today.
Well, that's the debate. You admitted defeat quite easily.
Yeah, I did. I thought I had a good argument, and then I was like, but it's not working anymore.
We should probably, assuming people will watch it, we'll let the people decide who do you think has won in a civilised manner.
PS4's got a better controller.
I don't know, man. I like that joystick being in the slightly higher thing. It's better for 3D gaming. It's more comfortable.
Maybe they don't need that touchpad. Maybe. Everything else is good.
The touchpad doesn't hurt.
No.
I suppose.
No, it doesn't get in the way.
But that's the debate.
That's the debate.
I hope you enjoyed debate. Next time we'll debate something else.
We haven't decided it yet, but we will.
Well, we were talking about debating Mario versus Sonic, which is actually something that we could probably get more heated into.
Yeah, let's get that.
Something that we believe.
Yeah,
in.
we don't care about these consoles. That's the problem.
Well, I do care about Sonic.
Yeah, he loves Sonic, and I am a Mario man. So but not really. But
don't
still,
say
yes.
That. Have some conviction.
I'm definitely more. No, I am convictedly more of a Mario man than a Sonic man. That's for sure.
Maybe next time we'll do some of that. Until then, enjoy a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
I hope you get the console that you wanted.
Thank you. And good night.